Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Steven here once again, back at Blue Lake Park, and well, it's that time once again for another NASCAR video. Now don't forget, if you like content like this, hit the subscribe button, like the video, hit the bell, and so forth. And don't forget to comment down below to show your thoughts on what I have to say as well. So, with all that out of the way, let's get into it. First, I will say this, that the truck race Thursday and the Xfinity Series race Friday were better racing overall compared to the Cup race on Saturday. To recap, Lane Riggs won his second straight Truck Series race Thursday night, and the Truck Series have one race remaining before we find out who will be eliminated this weekend at Kansas. And I'll give my update picks regarding that on Thursday. But overall, the truck race was pretty good, all things considered. It was better that FS1 went without Adam Alexander in the broadcast booth. But this weekend in Kansas, it was confirmed during the broadcast that Jamie will call the Truck Series race instead. And yeah, Jamie's a good pit reporter, but she's not that good in the play-by-play department. And let's just leave it at that. But that being said, it is interesting to see how the race will play out for the Truck Series. As for the Xfinity Series, Sheldon Creed once again ended up second for the 13th time. This time, the winner was Cole Custer, who not only won the race, but also won the Xfinity Series regular season title. And for the first outing on the CW, despite being produced by NBC, I thought they did a good job, all things considered. Big question remaining, though, is when NASCAR takes over production in February, how much will it change? Will they still keep the caution yellow CW, for example, or will they try to do something else? For the first outing with the CW, I thought was pretty good. Now I understand not everyone gets the network for whatever the reason. Might be on a low power station, or your carrier might not have it. I will say this. If you have access to an antenna, you could try that and scan it and see if you get the channel. Or you can go to CW's website to find out if it is available in your area or not. Those are probably the two best advice I can give you at this time. Or you can try a paid TV streaming services like Hulu with Live TV or YouTube TV, and see if the CW is available in your market that way. Those will be your best options, I think, if you're going to get the CW in your area. Especially if it's going to be difficult to get it with an antenna for whatever the reason. But I will say this. Rick Allen, Steve Letarte, Jeff Burton did do a good job explaining to the viewers what this or that was, all things considered. Obviously, there are rooms for improvement, and hopefully things will improve when they get to Kansas this weekend, which is the first race in the Xfinity Series playoffs. And I'm going to preview that little performance on Thursday as well.
I've seen a lot of change,
but overall, I did enjoy
been through a lot of pain.
First ever Xfinity Series race.
Things are not the same as they were a year ago.
As for the Cup Series,
but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays. Way back a year ago.
And that goes without saying.
I've changed for the better this time.
And everybody's baffled.
I thought I would never be
and
fine.
wants to blame Goodyear for what happened on Saturday
as well. I strive just to say I'm alright. And for the first time in a long time, I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago.
I will give still credit for
But all
credit
be
too. Larson had the best car all
okay. I
time.
move on each and every day. The
And
past
he
is
did bring
where
to the
it
point that
stays.
his awards were
Way
first,
back a
that
year
he
ago.
led the most laps, but didn't win the race. Well, eventually buying about not the best Larson didn't win. He had the best car all night. And yet, when drama like Larson, it was still
I ain't going back, I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows. And we're all going live, still nobody knows. But I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago.
We don't know if that will work or not.
Okay.
We just assume that will work. That will fix everything.
The past is where
Problem
it
is,
stays.
new cars
Way
not one fixed
back a
solution.
year ago.
It will take many attempts to figure out what's wrong, how to make it better. The problem is, we all can't agree on what needs to be fixed. We all have different ideas of what makes a good race. And we actually see that the cars have been a good race. Can't see what's going on earlier this year, or lined up back in February, for example. But even then, that's mostly because of the finishes, not the racing themselves. Even though both tracks did produce good racing earlier this year, and Atlanta, to start the playoffs, was pretty good, all things considered. Even though we didn't have a good finish to go with it, but the racing in Atlanta was still pretty good overall. And same with Watkins Glen. They brought the softer tire there, and overall it was a good race. But the finish made it better. So softer tires is a step in the right direction. But you have to take into account not only the weather, but when you run the race as well. And we're producing, something that will work for the car. So we'll have to wait and see in Martinsville how this will play out regarding the softer tires there. And we'll see if there's any changes to be made for the Roval as well, for the road course side of things. Now, there is one other thing I want to talk about right quick. That is the whole situation between Justin Haley and Cody LaJoie going to swap their wives for the rest of the year. Because apparently, from what I've heard, Haley's under contract supposedly with Hendrick. But I think most likely what's going to happen is this. I think Spire's going to, especially since he wants to be a top-tier Chevrolet team, I think to be honest, most likely Haley will probably stay with Spire and be essentially a backup team for Hendrick if any one of those 4 rides aren't available. Think if, for example, if Larson, Elliott, Byron, or Bowman had to leave for whatever the reason, you can promote a Michael McDowell or Justin Haley to that ride for a moment and see what they can do and that type of equipment. Now I think Haley might be the best driver that's probably going to get next year. He will contend for wins, especially with Rodney Childress at the helm, the crew chief along with McDowell. I think Spire will be the best end of the deal because for Joy, to be honest, he had his one opportunity with Gateway, probably before the 9 team, and didn't do all that good. And plus, with LaJoie's reputation of causing wrecks and whatnot, it's probably best for him just to remain a back-of-the-pack type driver. Decent driver at best, but ultimately never was, to be honest, in terms of contending for wins and whatnot. As a reminder, apparently, Georgia's situation is for the rest of this year, with Haley going for it. Now, hang on for a second, folks. Got a plane flying overhead. But like I was saying, with Haley going for next year, Aspire as well. So we'll see how everything works out next year for Haley and where LaJoy will be going after the rest of this season. But for now, that's all I wanted to say on the matter. Hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and so forth. And I'll see all of you next time. Bye. Hey everyone, Steven here once again. Now normally I don't talk about retail stores per se, but because this broke a couple of days ago, I want to talk about it just the same. And that is the last full-line Kmart in the continental USA, British up to New York, will be closing sometime next month, specifically the 20th. Why is this important, you ask? Well, Kmart's been in decline, you could argue, for about 30 years at the very least. Or less, depending on how you look at it. And here's why. When the Kmart Corporation decided to branch out and focus more on their other brands that they either bought or created, and be focused less on Kmart, well, that led to their slow demise. A demise has really begun since at least 30 years. Back to 1994, when they began closing over 100 stores. You could say that's where the King of the Armor began to show. Then, of course, their first bankruptcy in the early 2000s made the situation worse. And then from 2010 onward, things have gotten a lot worse for Kmart. And to an extent, Sears too. Speaking of Sears, as of now, there's about 9 stores left that has a Sears name, including one that reopened last October in Burbank. Or why there's not reopened that one, I don't know. But that one's reopened. At least Sears, until the merger with Kmart, was in slightly better shape too. It wasn't perfect over at Sears, but arguably they had they were one of the top of appliance retailers behind Lowe's and Home Depot. All things considered, and that's still pretty good, even though there are only about 9 stores left. And let's be honest, even Best Buy has surpassed them for appliances these days. Along with just about, to be honest, a local appliance store. And while Lambert does serve at least some blame for what happened to the two chains, especially after he took over, you could argue that the downfall of both companies began to take shape before he got there, but his arrival made the situation worse. Now, what I'm going to do here is more or less present a brief sideshow history of both chains and how we got to this point. Then I'll get back at the end of the video to wrap things up. Well, I hope you enjoyed the little sideshow I did about the story behind Sears and Kmart. I could make this into an occasional series or a regular series if you like it. If we get enough likes in this video, I may do a sequel of sorts, like talk about other retail stores. If you'd like me to cover that, let me know in the comments. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment down below, and I'll see all of you next time. Bye. So what I decided to do this week is combine the two videos into one. That's why I didn't do the Tuesday video yet, regarding NASCAR news and whatnot. But the plan is this time to combine both videos into one. So just bear with me as we go through this. But anyway, with that brief explanation out of the way, let's get into it. So first, I want to talk about, as a preview, this race at Kansas tomorrow night, which will be on FS1. Now, Ben Rhodes and Dale Dye currently on the two rows on the outside looking in. As the playoff spots will be reduced down from 10 to 8. I still think Rhodes will be in, barely, but I'm going to aim figure the booth out for this. And besides the big three of Majeski, Time, and Ellen, I'm going to say Rig has a good chance of making 3 straight wins as well. Look at this, folks. We're going to pick it up and probably win countdown. But anyway, Saturday at 4 will be the Xfinity Series as their props get out of the way. Also at Kansas. And personally, I think the best driver there, at least right now, I still say Allgaier has a slight edge, but Custer's no slack either, so I'm going to go out on a little limb and put Custer to be the first driver to log in into the round of 8 at Kansas. Although I think Smith or Creed will be up there as well from Toyota. Speaking of Creed, can he finally get a win? 13 second place finishes. That win is a praise and feat in his own right, don't get me wrong, but he's going to a new team next year, and eventually second place is not going to be enough. He's going to have to win or else. But who knows? Creed might pull it off this weekend and get that monkey off his back as far as wins. Not this weekend doing all the things, but don't surprise if we manage to get a win before the season ends. Just to say. Now let's talk about the Cup Series. And to be honest, there's really not much happening in news except for the possibility of FedEx leaving NASCAR, and I want to save that for last. Sunday will be the last Cup race on USA for the year. It too will be in Kansas, and well, since 2020, outside of Logano, has been either Larson versus Toyota for wins at that track. And personally, I think the slight edge, or rather the edge, goes to Larson to make it 2 straight wins and be the first driver to punch his ticket into the round of 8. But for Hamlin and everybody else, they're going to need a good run at Kansas in order to avoid what's going on in Talladega. And for the Roval, Talladega mostly. And as a reminder, the last 6 Cup races, beginning at Talladega, will be on NBC. And for the rest of the season, more or less, you have Xfinity on CW, Trucks FS1, and Cup NBC. So just keep that in mind, starting this weekend at Talladega. it's also rumored that Xfinity will be leaving as well. But then again, there's no updates regarding them as well. Now, sponsors entering the sport is nothing new. That's been happening before. And NASCAR has found a way to bounce back from it since then. Whether or not they will pull it off this time, I don't know. But Gibbs still have other sponsors on standby if FedEx does leave. I think that should be at least worth considering. Whether that be Sport Clips, Yahoo, Stanley Black & Decker, Bass Pro Shops, Interstate Batteries, and so forth. The point is, they got other sponsors that could step the game for Hamlin if FedEx does leave. Now, it would make sense for them, from a business standpoint, for them to leave NASCAR, but at the same time, it would be disappointing for a combination that's been around for 20 years to just disappear without just end. And that's how long FedEx has been there with Gibbs. 20 years. Going back to when Jason Leffler, rest in peace, drove the car. And then for 19 seasons after that, Hamlin. And personally, if FedEx leaves, I hope Hamlin does find a sponsor. Even though he's not one of my favorite drivers per se, so Denani is one of the greatest drivers. There's one of Denani, he's a great driver. Just he's finds a way to get that championship. And that would be talking about one of the all-time greats, because as of now, Hamlin, he's more or less the Mark Martin of his generation. Great driver, but for whatever the reason, he never won the championship. Even though I like Martin, his teammates did. But we'll see after Sunday how all this plays out. I'll be back later. My thoughts on Kansas. Before I go, though, there is one other thing I want to show you right quick. While I'm here at Big Prize Park. Normally this trail is open, but as you can see, gotta get ready for Halloween here. The Jack Collector's Spectacular here in Louisville, so because of that, the trail is closed. I might come back later, depending on how much this cost, to look at it myself in the near future. But for those of you in the Louisville area, there is a website if you want to learn more about it. JackoLanternLouisville.com. But for now, that'll be it. And I'll see all of you next time. Bye.